Hey guys, I'm going to be talking about why I enjoy being a Boy Scout, and let's get started. It started when I was in elementary school. Before Boy Scouts, started in Cub Scouts in elementary school, and then in Cub Scouts, I enjoyed learning about knife safety, fire safety, and a lot of like scout based stuff that helped me throughout my scouting direction. As a Cub Scout, I enjoyed doing the Pinewood Derby, where we had to build our own like Pinewood Derby out of wood, like a race car out of wood. We had to build it and we had to race it with all the other Cub Scouts on like a track, and then we placed our car down and then raced down the track. That was fun. I enjoyed also doing all the campouts, like these kind of like Cub Scout campouts where we our parents had to be there in Cub Scouts on the weekends because as a Cub Scouts you're young and you need a parent to go with you. I think a parent had to go with you, and we had fun doing like cross country skiing, like cabin trips, and going on like to the police station, the fire station, learning about all types of stuff, forest preserves. We did like a lot of those trips as a Cub Scout, but yeah, I enjoyed those kind of campouts. It wasn't like Boy Scouts now. When I finished Cub Scouts, I moved on to Boy Scouts where we had to be more on our own, being by ourselves, being like more on our own, like without adults, without parents. Your parents stayed home. We had to be like on our own learning. In my opinion, I enjoyed Boy Scouts a lot more because I was on my own as a Boy Scout. You get to learn about scouting, a lot more harder things like lashings, using rope to lash like a table, or lashing with a fence together, and learning about knot tying, like different kind of knots, like the square knot, the granny knot, the climbing knots. And then in Boy Scouts, we were allowed to carry a pocket knife with the training, like the totem chip or the fireman's chip. Totem chip was like about like knife safety, what you should do if you have your knife, have like safety circle and stuff. With the fireman chip, you get to like be able to build the fire, take care of the fire, like build it, build the fire bigger, and so the fire doesn't spread, keep it like in the fire circle and stuff, keep it safe around people. As a Boy Scouts, there's rank system. I enjoy owning all the ranks. There's like Scout, then there's second class, then first class, then Star, and then Life, and then Eagle. Where I just finished my Life rank, and then I can move on to working on my Eagle Scout. The Eagle Scout is the highest rank to finish. That's like finishing Scouts. When you finish Eagle, the Eagle rank is like you have to like make your plan out your service project, like being able, for example, like you can build a a bench or you can build a garden, or you can plan to do like a service project, like help the community out. It can be endless. You can do. The ranks are like usually like what you learned in each rank. Like a scout rank, you learn like basic scout skills, and then you move up the rank system, and it gets harder and harder by learning knot tying, cooking, how to cook a fire, how to make a fire for cooking, how to mm, mm, learn about different knots, learn about how to lash, learn first aid, how to different ways around first aid, and yeah, learning about CPR, how to do CPR in the future, like yeah. Another thing about Boy Scouts, I enjoy learning about first aid, because in lifestyle outside of Scouts, you might need that knowledge of how to do CPR or do first aid on someone who really needs it, that could save their life. So, as a Boy Scout, I like helping people and saving people. Being so yeah. Right now, I'm working on my ego project, so I'm planning about my ego project, what I should do. So I'm almost ready, almost finished with becoming ego. The ego scout's a big project to work on, so yeah. And I also became the SPO of my troop, meaning like the SPL is a senior patrol leader that's in charge of the entire troop, or the troop meetings, or in charge of all the trips, planning on all the trips. Another favorite Another favorite thing I enjoy being a scout is going on all the fun trips we go on. Like trips including like the most popular we went on, uh we do like every year, being like summer camp, the ski trip, the caving trip, alpine sledding trip, the indoor cabin trip, and a lot more. Every camper is like once a month throughout the year. I owned like the 100 night badge, that I had to sleep over 100 nights outside in a tent, usually on campouts with we usually on the campouts we learn about like how to make fires, being able to sleep outside, knot tying sometimes, learning about knot tyings, like tying knots. On campouts we as scouts we have to cook on our own, or we had to cook our food on our own. As a scout we learn how to cook on our own. If we burn the food, we we burn the food, and we have to learn from our mistakes next time on the camp out. We also on camp outs do a lot of exploring. Sometimes we do search and rescue routines. And then during the summertime, we usually have two big trips. One trip is our summer camp, where we go to a camp like Napawan or Owasapi for 1 week. We camp all week outside in the hot heat, owning lots of merit badges. I personally have a total of 49 merit badges. Some examples of merit badges are like that I've owned are like life saving first aid, wilderness survival. These are kind of merit badges can help you survive on your own in the woods or if you're lost or hurt. The second trip during the summer is our high adventure trip where all of the things we've learned in scouting can be put in a real test on high adventure trips like backpacking. The place I've been with high adventure was Yellowstone National Park. We had to pack everything that we needed in one backpacking backpack that weighed around like 50 pounds. We had to carry all that weight around. We had to hike for the all week in the backcountry of Yellowstone with only the stuff we packed in our bag. We we usually hiked around like 20 miles each day to our campsites. We had like checkpoints, and then the campsites were the checkpoints we stayed at. We had to eat mountain house food. Mountain house food is kind of like MOE's meals ready to eat, but they're like dried food. We add water to it and we get to eat it from the bag or from the plate. From the bag, we usually eat them, and there's different kinds of food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We had to pack a small hiking stove. It was like a tiny little stove we cook the water on. On the high adventure trips are fun and tough at the same time. So only the oldest scouts get to go on the high adventure trips. As a Boy Scouts, I enjoy helping young scouts to becoming Eagle Scouts as well. I like helping the community as a scout, like feed my starving children or helping out with the church with the spring cleanup. The spring cleanup is doing landscaping around the church. We do a lot of service project that helps the community out. And yeah, this is why I myself enjoy being a Boy Scout. So yeah, helping the community. So yeah, this is why I enjoy Boy Scouts, being in Boy Scouts.